Hey, what's up everyone? If you're watching this video, chances are you don't just have a dog. You have a family member, someone who greets you at the door every single day like you've been gone for a year, even if you just stepped out to grab the mail. And I think most of us have had that moment. You grab your keys, you head out the door, and right before it clicks shut, you think, what is my dog actually doing right now? Your neighbors might know things you don't. They hear when the barking starts, how long it goes on, which days are worse than others. But when you come home, your dog runs up to you, tail going crazy, licking your hands, and everything looks completely fine. So you assume it's fine. But is it? Today, we're going to look at what science actually says about what's happening inside your dog's head when you're gone. And I'm not talking about random internet claims. I'm talking about peer-reviewed studies, published in real scientific journals, conducted by actual animal behavior researchers. This isn't about making you feel guilty. It's about helping you understand your dog on a deeper level so you can actually give them what they need. Because a dog that feels calm and confident when home alone, that's one of the greatest gifts you can give them, and honestly, yourself. So let's start with what happens the moment you walk out that door. In 2010, a researcher named Clara Palestrini and her colleagues at the University of Milan in Italy did something really fascinating. They set up cameras inside the homes of 23 dogs, all of whom had been clinically diagnosed with separation anxiety. They just watched. And what they recorded was published in the journal Applied Animal Behavior Science. Here's what the footage showed. Most of the time, these dogs were vocalizing, barking, whining, howling. They were constantly scanning the room, ears perked, tracking every single sound, like they were waiting for something to happen. Destructive behavior showed up too, chewing things, scratching at doors. And the most important finding? The peak of that distress happened right after the owner left. Some behaviors did decrease over time, but the stress didn't just go away. It shifted. The dogs transitioned into panting and pacing, walking in circles back and forth, which are subtler signs of anxiety that you'd completely miss without a camera rolling. And that's exactly the trap so many owners fall into. You come home, your dog goes absolutely wild with excitement, and you think, okay, they're good. They adjusted. But your dog has just reset in response to seeing you. What happened during those hours in between? Only the camera knows. Now here's the flip side, because this is important. A separate study by Reen and Keeling in 2011 out of Sweden recorded dogs who did not have separation anxiety at 3 different points: 30 minutes, 2 hours, 2 hours, and 4 hours after the owner left. The results were completely different. These dogs showed no significant signs of prolonged distress at any point. They mostly just rested, drank some water, chilled out. Same species, completely different experience. And the key difference wasn't breed or age or genetics alone. The biggest factor was what these dogs had learned about being left alone, whether they'd developed the confidence and the emotional toolkit to handle it. And here's why that matters. What's learned can be unlearned. What's learned can be relearned. That's not just optimism, that's behavioral science. Here's something that surprises a lot of people. For dogs with separation anxiety, the stress doesn't begin when the door closes. It starts way earlier than that. Veterinary behaviorists have documented a concept called pre-departure cues. And once you know about this, you're going to start noticing it everywhere. Dogs are incredibly good at reading patterns. After hundreds and hundreds of repetitions, they learn your routine down to the smallest detail. You pick up your keys. You put on your jacket. You check your phone one last time. You slip on your shoes. To you, these are just things you do in the morning. To your dog, they're a countdown clock. Each one of those actions has become linked in their brain to one specific outcome. You're about to disappear. So specific, Cyrus. So for dogs with separation anxiety, the anxiety isn't just happening while you're gone. It's happening while you're still standing right there in the kitchen. You might notice your dog starting to pace, breathe faster, follow you from room to room, or whine, and you haven't even touched the door handle yet. And I want to be really clear about something here. This is not your dog being dramatic or needy or bad. This is a conditioned anxiety response. It's the same reason you might start feeling nervous the night before a job interview. Your brain has learned to anticipate this stressor before it even arrives. Understanding this completely changes how you approach the problem, because the stud is spus. The solution isn't just about what happens when you're gone. It starts with what happens while you're still home. Now, let's talk about some of the most common pieces of advice floating around out there. Because some of them are flat out wrong, and one of them can actually make things significantly worse. First one, just get a second dog. This sounds logical, right? Your dog is lonely, so give them a friend. Problem solved. Except research doesn't really back this up. Studies including work by Flanagan and Dodman back in 2001 have consistently shown that separation anxiety is usually tied to the absence of one specific person, not loneliness in a general sense. A second dog does not replace you in your dog's mind, and in some cases, you end up with two anxious dogs instead of one. Second one, scold them when you get home and find a mess. This one is not just ineffective, it actively makes things worse. Here's the science behind why. Dogs' brains work on immediate temporal association. They connect consequences to what's happening right now, not to something that occurred three hours ago. So when you walk in and you're visibly upset, your dog isn't thinking, "Oh right, I chewed that chair this morning." This makes sense. They're connecting your anger to the current moment, which means coming home equals something bad. That increases anxiety around your return, which makes the whole problem worse over time. And that guilty look your dog gives you, that's not what you think it is. That's not what you think it is. Psychologist Alexandra Horowitz at Barnard College ran a study on exactly this in 2009, published in the journal Behavioral Processes. She found that dogs displayed the guilty look, the crouching, avoiding eye contact, tail tucked, whether they had actually done anything wrong or not. The trigger was the owner's body language and tone. It's a submissive appeasement signal, not a confession. Your dog isn't admitting guilt. They're reading your energy and responding to it. Third one, if they're quiet, they're fine. Not necessarily. When stress is chronic and unaddressed, some dogs eventually stop reacting altogether. Psychologist Martin Seligman first described this in the 1960s. He called it learned helplessness, has essentially concluded that nothing they do changes the outcome, so they stop trying. A dog that's gone quiet and withdrawn can actually be in a worse state than one that's still barking and reacting. Silence doesn't always mean peace. Sometimes it means the dog has just given up. This next part genuinely surprised me when I first came across it, and I think it'll do the same for you. In 2019, a research team led by Ann-Sophie Sundman and Lena Roth at Linköping University in Sweden published a study in Scientific Reports, part of the Nature Publishing Group, one of the most respected names in scientific publishing anywhere in the world. Here's what they did. They measured cortisol levels. That's your stress hormone, in the hair of 58 dog owner pairs collected across 2 different seasons. Why hair specifically? Because cortisol in hair reflects long-term chronic stress that's built up over weeks and months. It gives you a much more honest picture than a one-time test. And the results were striking. The long-term cortisol levels of dogs and their owners were statistically synchronized. Owners with high cortisol had dogs with high cortisol. Owners with low cortisol had dogs with low cortisol. And the researchers concluded that the dog is mirroring the owner, not the other way around. Let that sink in for a second. Your dog is carrying your stress in their body, not metaphorically, literally, measurably in their biology. So if you're constantly anxious, rushing around, feeling overwhelmed, your dog feels that even when you haven't said a single word. Taking care of your own mental health isn't just self-care. In a very real, scientifically documented way, it is also dog care. Okay, so here's the part you've been waiting for. Because understanding the problem is one thing. But what do you actually do about it? The approach with the strongest scientific backing in veterinary behavior is called systematic desensitization. The principle is straightforward. You principles your dog to very small, manageable versions of the thing they fear, and you build up so gradually that they never hit that panic threshold. Every successful repetition teaches their brain that this is safe. Here's what that looks like in practice. Start by breaking the pre-departure cues. Pick up your keys, then sit back down on the couch. Put on your jacket, then go make a coffee. Lace up your shoes, then water your plants. Do this multiple times a day. The goal is to disconnect those actions from the automatic assumption that you're leaving. Over time, the cues lose their emotional weight. Then start with seconds, not minutes. Walk out the door, count to 5, come back in. Don't make a huge deal out of it. Stay calm and neutral. Walk out, again, count to 10, come back. Gradually stretch it to 30 seconds, then a minute, then 5 minutes, then 15. The absolute key is that you never push past your dog's threshold. Every single time they handle it without panicking, their brain is logging a new lesson. Owner leaves. Owner comes back. Nothing bad happens. That's the foundation you're building. Alongside that, build their overall confidence every single day. Basic obedience training. Sit, stay, wait, gives your dog mental structure and a real sense of competence. Physical exercise burns off anxious energy. Food puzzle toys, like a Kong stuffed with frozen peanut butter, give them something genuinely positive to focus on during those early short absences. And a camera. Seriously, even a cheap one. It lets you see what's actually happening so you can make real decisions based on reality, not guesswork. Please don't hesitate to reach out to a veterinary behaviorist. A combination of behavior novica modification and medication like fluoxetine under proper veterinary guidance has been shown to be more effective than either approach alone. There's no shame in getting help. For a lot of dogs, it's the right call. Most dogs see real, meaningful improvement within 4 to 8 weeks of consistent work. It takes patience, but the result, a dog that rests calmly while you're out and meets you with a relaxed, happy wag when you walk back in, is completely worth it. Understanding what your dog goes through when you're away isn't about guilt. It's about awareness. And awareness is where everything good starts. Every small thing you do, 5 minutes of practice in the morning, choosing not to scold when you come home to a mess, 1 longer walk on the weekend. Your dog feels all of it. They might not speak your language, but they read you better than most people do. They don't need you to be perfect. They just need you to understand them and to show up consistently. If this video helped you, please give it a like and share it with someone who loves their dog. Drop a comment below and let me know. Does your dog show signs of anxiety when you leave? I read every single one. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you. Love your dogs a little extra today.